Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, verse 35 and 36. Verse 35. Yatredyante katham strashnaya prasamo yata nirvairam yatra bhuteshu nodvego yatra kashana. Synonym: Yatra, where, idyante are worshipped or discussed, katha, words, vrishta, pure, Trishnaya of material hankerings, prashama, satisfaction, yata, by which, nirvairam, non-enviousness, yatra, where, bhuteshu, among living entities, na, not, udvega, fear, yatra, where, kaschana, any. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Whenever pure topics of the transcendental world are discussed, the members of the audience forget all kinds of material hankerings, at least for the time being. Not only that, but they are no longer envious of one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. Purport: Vaikuntha means without anxiety, and the material world means full of anxiety. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Sada Sammugdena Dhyayam Asadgrahat. The living entities who have accepted this material world as a residence are full of anxiety. A place immediately becomes Vaikuntha whenever the holy topics of the personality of Godhead are discussed by pure devotees. This is the process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, chanting and hearing about the Supreme Lord Vishnu. As the Supreme Lord himself confirms, Naham tistami vaikunthe yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tistani narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. My dear Narada, actually, I do not reside in my abode Vaikuntha, nor do I reside within the hearts of the yogis, but I reside in that place where my pure devotees chant my holy name and discuss my form, pastimes, and qualities. Because of the presence of the Lord in the form of the transcendental vibration, the Vaikuntha atmosphere is evoked. This atmosphere is without fear and anxiety. One living entity does not fear another. By hearing the holy names and glories of the Lord, a person executes pious activities. Shanvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana, Bhagavatam 1-17. Thus his material hankerings immediately stop. This Sankirtan movement, started by Society for Krishna Consciousness, is meant for creating Vaikuntha, the transcendental world that is without anxiety even in this material world. The method is the propagation of the Shravanam Kirtanam process throughout the world. In the material world, everyone is envious of his fellow man. Animalistic envy exists in human society as long as there is no performance of Sankirtan Yagya, the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Prachetas therefore decided to remain always in the society of devotees, and they consider that to be the highest benediction possible in human life. Text 36. Yatra Narayana Sakshat Bhagavan Yasi Samgati Sam Sutete Satkathaso Mukta Sangai Puna Puna. Synonym: Yatra, where, Narayana, Lord Narayana, Sakshat, directly, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nyashinam, of persons in the renounced order of life, Gati, the ultimate goal, Sam Stutete is worshipped, Satkatha, by discussing the transcendental vibration, Mukta Sangai, by those who are liberated from material contamination, Puna Puna, again and again. Translation: The Supreme Lord Narayana is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name and of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayana is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in the renounced order of life, and Narayana is worshipped through this Sankirtan movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they recite the holy name again and again. Purport: the Mayavadi sannyasis are missing the real presence of Narayana. This is because they falsely claim to be Narayana himself. According to the customary etiquette of Mayavadi sannyasis, they address one another as Narayana. To say that everyone is a temple of Narayana is correct, but to accept another human being as Narayana is a great offense. The conception of Daridra Narayana, poor Narayana, an attempt to identify the poor with Narayana is also a great offense. Even to identify Narayana with demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is an offense. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudrai Devata Samatvena Svikshita Sap Pasandi Bhave Dhruvam. One who considers Lord Narayana on a level with great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is immediately listed among non-believers. The fact is that by performing Sankirtan Yajna, one can immediately please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Narayana himself descends and immediately is present. In this age of Kali, Narayana is immediately present in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Concerning Lord Chaitanya, Srimad Bhagavatam 11.532 states, Krishna Varnam Tvishar Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagye Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasha. In this age of Kali, intelligent persons performing congregation chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential champions. After all, human life is meant for pleasing Narayana, and this can be easily done by performing Sankirtan Yajna. Whenever there is congregation chanting of the holy name of the Lord, Gaura Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya, immediately appears and is worshipped by Sankirtan Yajna. In this verse, it is said that Narayana is Nyasinam Gati, the ultimate goal of the sannyasis. The goal of those who have renounced the material world is the attainment of Narayana. A Vaishnavi sannyasi therefore dedicates his life to serving Narayana. He does not falsely claim to be Narayana. Instead of becoming Nirvaira, non-envious of other living entities, one who tries to become Narayana becomes envious of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the attempt to become Narayana constitutes the greatest offense. Actually, when one chants or discusses the transcendental activities of the Lord, he immediately becomes non-envious. In this material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, but by vibrating or discussing the holy name of the Lord, one becomes non-envious and devoid of material hankering. Because of our envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have become envious of all other living entities. When we are no longer envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be real peace, unity, and fraternity in human society. Without Narayana or Sankirtan Yajna, there cannot be peace in this material world. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to read from these verses this morning for my own purification. And please forgive me for any of my own interpretations while speaking. So here we are hearing the conversation, and also we are seeing how prachetas, right? The whole discussion is going on right now, the topic of that. So in these couple verses now, right, prachetas have, like when they saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they started offering prayers. And then really when we do prayers also, right, there are some parts of the prayers which are very important. Like when we offer prayers, first we are appreciating, admiring, glorifying the Lord. So that is what the Prachetas did. They glorified the Lord, and then they also were able to realize their own um, disqualification. So when we offer prayers to the Lord, when we give glorification, we are also saying that how we are not qualified to really be able to be in that position to receive any of that mercy. And then in the prayer, the third part of the prayer is then also asking for benedictions, right? Here in this section, we can see that the Prachetas are asking for benediction, and we'll see what they are asking for exactly. And then we also ask for forgiveness, because whenever, even when we are going for deity worship and all that, right, we do the prayers before we enter into the altar. And then once we are done the service, when we come down, also there is prayer for asking for forgiveness. So that is a very important part whenever we do any services, right? If beginning we say Om Ajnana Timirandasya, before we start any service, we say that prayers, because when we do Om Ajnana Timirandasya, we are invoking all of the mercy from all of the disciplic succession. So it is not like, we just say it for the sake of it, but rather when we say it, we are really requesting all of the mercy from the disciplic succession. And then once we are done, we always ask for forgiveness. And that's why we say, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So there are reasons why we do all of this. So even for the Supreme Lord, when the Prachetas saw that, they went through all of these parts in there, right? Asking for benediction, and then finally asking for forgiveness also. So this is how the prayers are working. And here in this specific section also, we can see when the Prachetas are offering prayers to the Lord, the prayers are composed of all these sections. So in this couple verses, they are asking for benediction, right? And so in this also, Srila Prabhupada is explaining very well about what it even means. So let's take a look at when when the Prachetas are speaking about the Vaikuntha, right? They are saying, and Prabhupada is explaining very well, what is Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha is really not a geographical place. And I heard this even yesterday in one of the classes, that it is not like a change in address, that, okay, now I'm on Earth planet and then I go to Vaikuntha. It is like my address gets changed. It's not like that. It is really a condition of consciousness created by the presence of the Lord. So Vaikuntha is really, what does it mean? Vaikuntha is without anxiety. That's what it is, right? In this material world, what are the common emotions? What are the common feelings we all are feeling? Is that we have anxiety, envy, fear, competition. All of these are so common in this material world. And because of that, we have all of this anxiety in this material world. However, when these symptoms disappear, even if they are temporary, even if when we are chanting, we can feel in that moment how peaceful it is because we are connected with the Lord. Guess what? That is Vaikuntha. So that explains why this verse is also right. So that is very much like we can observe that even in our daily sadhana, we can see that, right? There are moments when we are really chanting with focused attention and we are deeply connected with the Lord, we ourselves can feel that how we are completely like we are on a different plane, like that anxiety goes away, and the whole emotion, like the connection with the Lord is that. So that's really what is Vaikuntha. So again, this is not artificially, we cannot create that, but when the transcendental sound is purely present, that happens, right? So that's exactly what is being explained here about Vaikuntha, and Srila Prabhupada is explaining. And then why does hearing and chanting work, right? That is also very nicely explained here, because the Lord is saying, I do not reside in Vaikuntha, nor in the heart of yogis, but I reside where my devotees chant and discuss about me. So this establishes very important points. The Lord is personally present in his Nama and Katha, right? This is not symbolical, but really personally, he's present. Wherever there is Shravanam and hearing and chanting going on, Krishna Katha going on, Lord is personally present. And then transcendental sound is not different from the Lord himself, right? So that's why it is said that Shravanam, like we chant the prayer in the morning, right? Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridantosti Abhadrani Vidunoti Sasrutam. So this hearing itself is purifying. Sometimes, we hear that sometimes people may not even understand the language clearly, right? English may not be the forte of everybody, like very complex philosophy and everything. But you see, sometimes, our parents, even my mom, right? She's always there. Every Sunday, she's there. She's always there sitting and listening and everything. So it's not like you have to be a bit much a big scholar to be able to understand all this or even get the purification. Just being there in the presence of the holy name, even if we cannot understand and process everything, it is still purifying. So that is the power of the holy name. And then the environmental changes because of the holy name, because of Krishna, he actually arriving. So Vaikuntha is evoked because Krishna is naturally there. He is actually there. Wherever there is Shravanam, Vishnu, like hearing and chanting going on, Krishna is evoked and he comes. So that's really what happens. Like, what is this whole Vaikuntha topic we are discussing about? It is like we have to understand that rather than thinking like it is like a higher plane or something, even being in this material world, it is really the consciousness which takes us to that place. And then this verses actually has a lot of different points to be discussed, but I know that the time is not going to permit, but I'm just going to do one more point here. It's about why does envy disappear first, right? So here it says that because of our envy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we have become envious of all other living entities. So sometimes we think, right, so we do not envy God because we envy others. That's not how it works. But because we have envy towards Krishna, that is the bottom, like the foundational reason. Because we have envy towards Krishna, we came to this material world, all of it, and then now we have envy towards others too. So, what does envy of Krishna mean? That means that I want to be at the center, I want to be the enjoyer, and I want the position of Narayana. That is the bottom line of it. That's really why we are all here. So, that root envy can be healed through Sankirtana. And that is exactly what is being described here. That the secondary envy will immediately collapse with Sankirtan, chanting of the holy name. And this is why it is being clearly given that Prabhupada is explaining that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself came in Kali Yuga because he understands people are so disturbed. We are all short-lived, argumentative, cheating propensity. There's so many of the negative qualities in here, and we are also incapable of performing yagyas. So guess what? The Lord appears as sound, and he brings his complete movement here, focusing on chanting of the holy name. So Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam, right? And it is worshipped by Sankirtana prayer. So Narayana, Krishna comes where chanting happens, and then it is completely because he comes, there is purification. And then it is not that we have to renounce everything and go somewhere and think that, oh, we have to go somewhere in the alone somewhere and then chant, and then eventually we are going to go to some other world and all of it. It doesn't happen like that. Based on what the teachings are given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srila Prabhupada is explaining so well, taking the holy name very seriously, chanting the holy name seriously with our hearts, all of the purification that is needed will happen. And we don't have to go anywhere. We stay here wherever we are. but we are connected with the Lord deeply with the heart. So, with that, I'd like to end. Thank you so much again for this opportunity. Vancha kalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai.